Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Briefcase in the Barn, episode 91. And we got Chad Bruneski, is that how you say it?
Sure.
Joining us?
Close enough. Bruneski.
Bruneski, yeah. Okay. So you reached out to me a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember exactly what the email said, but it was something about a mission organization you worked for.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you can come on the podcast and talk about it.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
That was great. And thanks for having me. This is good. I'm with Outreach Canada, and we're doing a big event called Gospel Alive Day coming up in June. And so wanted to just introduce people to what that is. And
Okay, what's Outreach Canada?
Outreach Canada is kind of a small family of ministries. We're all focused on helping the body of Christ live out the gospel. So in the workplace, on campus, in our communities. So we have a few different ministries that reflect that, come alongside the church in resourcing, in sometimes it's just networking and things like that, but all about actively living out the gospel. So our vision is to see the gospel alive in unimaginable ways and just coming alongside the church and doing that. So Gospel Alive Day is our way of expressing that churches across the nation, communities, the impact they're making in communities, small communities to large communities, are such an important part of how the gospel is alive. Mm-hmm. And so it's an invitation for churches to celebrate on the same Sunday and just recognize that the gospel is alive in Canada and why that's important.
Mm-hmm. How did it get started, the organization?
They've been around for about 40 years. Came into Canada really looking to do church planting and recognized that a lot of the churches at that time weren't really in a healthy place to do church planting well. And so they started Church Planting Canada. I don't know.
It's a global organization then.
Yeah. So we're one of 15 mobilization centers around the world. It's part of the OC Global Alliance. And so we work together with these other 15 mobilization centers, but we serve Canada in our posture and expression.
All right. So that came to Canada 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And so practically, what would be some of the things you would do with the different churches and like how big is it and what's the focus? Yeah.
So they actually, if you're as old as me, you might recognize,
I'm not as old as you.
Right.
You're not that old either. So that was a weird.
Expo 86.
Oh, I remember that. I had the book, childhood book in my home because my parents went. It's one of my favorite books to look at.
Twinkle my dad's eye.
Yeah, so they had a place there where you could go and learn about Jesus, and Outreach Canada actually trained the people in that.
It was a brand new organization at the time. It would have been a year old or something like that.
Yeah, so came in and helped train that for that big event. And then started things like Church Planting Canada, transitional leadership. So when churches are going through a time of change of a lead pastor or things like that, they'll have trained up people to come in and help you.
Do people use it?
So we don't do that anymore.
Okay.
Because the denominations learned how to do it. They trained up all of these people. The denominations took it on, and then they didn't need Outreach Canada for that anymore. So today we have workplace chaplains who go into workplaces and build gospel-informed relationships with employees in businesses. We have the MORE network, which takes care of missionary families, both sending them to the field as well as doing kind of third-party debriefing and things like that for missionary families, having mentoring networks for the kids and stuff like that. So all kind of coming alongside the body of Christ and helping strengthen.
Is it a similar organization like Power to Change?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's
that's what I'm hearing. When I'm hearing you talk, I mean, I don't know Power to Change that well, other than I support one of their ministries, and I'm just saying, hey, I wonder if people talk about donor fatigue. I don't know if you've experienced that in your work, because you've been involved in nonprofits now for off and on in different. I mean, it'd be interesting to actually, if you had a minute, to share your story a little bit of who you are and even your family. Like, you have a pretty unique family. You've had a lot of challenges. You've dealt with a lot of heavy stuff, and I think you've dealt with it very well, you and your wife. So like, what does that look like?
Or do you think we should do a full Furious the Curious Show?
No, I think you should just share, like, make this podcast interesting and share about your family.
All right. So yeah, where do I start with that?
Because you just went from donor fatigue to a story.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just how my brain works. Probably the spirit. Probably not meant to talk about donor fatigue.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.